Hello guys, welcome to this live stream. So in this live stream guys, we will talk about the latest version of Node.js which is released at the time of recording this live stream. It is Node.js 21 version. If you just type here Node and on Google, this is their official website, and if you go to this website, the latest version is released, which is 21 version. So various very good features are released. The built-in support for WebSockets. You no longer need third-party packages to create WebSockets. You can have support for Fetch API and also for ES modules, Navigator object. All these new things we will explore in this live stream with examples. And first of all, guys, you should have Node.js installed. If you haven't, simply click. You can do it by two things. I will use Node version manager, which is a command line tool to manage multiple node versions. So if you just type nvm, this will work, and there is a command out there. It will list out multiple Node.js versions. If you want to, you can see I've installed multiple versions, which is 20, 18, 16, 16, 14. So it's a very handy command line tool in order to manage multiple Node.js versions. So in this video, we will try to install this 21.6.2, which is the current latest version. It is experimental, but stable version is 20.11.1, which is recommended for most users, but we will try out this version for the features that they are offering. And now, in order to, command is very simple: nvm install and then followed by the version number. So here I will provide 21.6.2. This is actual command in Node version manager to actually install this. As you install, you will download this version from the internet and install it inside your computer. It will take some time, and after it installs, you will see installation complete. And if I want to use this version, I need to basically, still my version will be, if I just write here node dash version, sorry, it will nvm ls. So we need to use this version. So nvm use. In order to use this version, we will use this command and 21.6.2. So now you just need to allow the permission. So basically it is now saying now you are using Node version 21.6.2, 64-bit. And if I just type this command node-v, this is my current latest version, which is 21 version. And now guys, in this version, basically we have various features which are supported. This version has support for WebSocket, Fetch API, built-in support for ES modules. We no longer need to add that type is equal to module in package.json. It has a support for it. And Navigator object. With the help of Navigator object, you will be able to interact with the GPU, graphical processing unit, and you will be able to find out the number of cores which are available inside your CPU. All that information we will look at. So first of all, just create a simple Node.js project, index.js. I'm not using any third-party modules, you will see that. So I'm just using Axios here. Just to illustrate this, let me remove this also and just type here npmi. So basically no modules are present right here. So you will see no dependencies are present. So first of all, we will actually I will explain to you the support for Fetch API. So guys, Fetch API, as you all know, it is used to make requests to the third-party APIs to actually fetch data from the internet. JavaScript has a built-in support for that. If you are developing applications in browser, Fetch API is mandatory and it has a built-in support for every browser. But in Node.js, we need to use a Node Fetch. Basically, it's a third-party package. In older versions of Node.js, we tend to use this package a lot. Node Fetch, basically it allows you to use Fetch API inside Node.js, but you will no longer need this package now, because in version number, this package will not be required now in version number 21, because if you just make a fetch call here, https, you just put JSON placeholder API, which is a fake REST API for developers. Yeah, let's suppose we are making a GET request to this to actually fetch some data, and we will convert this response to JSON by response.json, and then this data will be coming. We can simply console log it. we can say console log data. So now if I run this guys directly, I'm not using any third-party package here. If I try to execute this, you will see that guys basically the response has coming here, and you can see basically we have got the response user ID title. And let's suppose if I am using the older version, let's suppose I switch to the version which is 16.14.2. Now I'm using this version of Node.js, which is a old version. So my current version, if you see, if I type the command which is 16 version, if I try to run the same program, it will give me this error because it will say that fetch is not defined, because it has added this fetch support guys in the version number 21. So now you can easily say, so what we can do is that we can say npm, we can switch to various versions guys. It's a very handy tool to try out experimental things, to manage multiple Node.js versions on a single computer. So if you now run this same thing, it will work. You will see that. So this is the first basically the feature which is added guys in version number 21 in Node.js. And the next feature I will talk about is the WebSocket guys. WebSocket has also been there's a package for that. If you want to do it, WebSocket, just write npmjs.com. There is a package here. So we use this package a lot in older versions. 835 weekly downloads are there, million weekly downloads, and this package also WS. And now with this Node.js 21 version, we no longer need these packages because the support for WebSocket is there. It is experimental, but in the coming days it will be stable. So we will declare basically like this new WebSocket, like this, with this WebSocket constructor, and here we need to pass the address on which port number we need to convert. We will be running this WebSocket on this port number 8080. This is the full address. And basically, as you know, WebSockets have various events that you can bind. WebSocket.on message. So whenever some message is sent to this, we will receive this event. It's a callback function, and we will simply say here that we will write here backtick symbol message from server, and here we will say event.data. So basically if you now try to run this, just write, so this will no longer run if you just write node index.js, because this is an experimental feature guys. It is not stable. That's why we need to provide this if you want to basically, we need to provide a flag here which is node dash experimental, because this is in this experimental stage. That's why dash experimental dash WebSocket. This is the name of the experiment and the file name. This is the command guys. You can pause it. Dash experimental dash WebSocket followed by index.js. If you now run this, it is saying that WebSocket is not defined. Let me just see. Oh sorry, S needs to be capital guys. Just make it as capital, and now it recognizes. Just run this same command once again. So basically you will see that now it has run. WebSockets are experimental, it is saying. Expect them to change at any time. So now it is successfully run. So now to basically add a event listener to it, we can simply write here WebSocket.add event listener. We can open this, and in this callback function we can basically simulate a process of we sending a message to the WebSocket, and then the WebSocket, we can use a set interval function right here, and after 1 second we will basically, what we will do inside this function, we will try to send a message to the web server which is hello, this is WebSocket, this is message number followed by, this is, we can dynamically put I here like this, and then we can say console log sending text, and WebSocket, and it contains a send method, guys. WebSocket, you can send receive messages, and we basically will send this message to the WebSocket that every time the value of I will be incremented, so we can simply say I plus plus. This will be a for loop which will be there. Every time we basically send this message by using the send method, this function will trigger on message, and it will print this line, message from server. If you now try this, basically it will be looping. If you just run this now, I think, okay, sorry, console log. Okay, sorry, we need to change this to w s, sorry, echo dot websocket dot events. Just change this line, guys. I was making mistake there. Echo WebSocket events. So if you run this now, so basically it will message from server. You can see message. This is message number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically you will see the WebSocket has started. So in this way, the Node.js 21 version has support for WebSockets. You can create them, and you can even create them. Let me change it to the previous one. I think it was starting this server locally. If you basically do that, it will start on that 8080. So we just need to create a HTML file for this, because that WebSocket will be listening on that. So whenever someone hits that one endpoint, it will basically print that message in the console. So for that we need to create a HTML file. But this is an example for WebSocket, guys, basically how we can do that. And now the next feature I want to tell you is our Navigator API. Navigator object, guys, basically in older versions, sorry, I just need to show you. If I execute the same program on an old version, let's suppose I switch back to, just for the proof, npm use 16. Oh sorry, I just take the latest version, which is 20.9.0. so this WebSocket was not available in the 20 version. It is just recently added. So now if I just run this, you can see bad option, experimental WebSocket. It is not recognized here. So we just need to switch to the version that we were using, which is 21.6.2. So now it will run right here. So this is WebSockets, guys. The next thing I need to show you, which is Navigator object. So this Navigator object, guys, supports a singular property which is very much useful, because it detects the number of CPU cores, central processing unit cores, how many cores are available inside your system. So if you just say number of, so in my system, how many logical CPU cores are available. So with this help, we can simply just write here this, which is you can use the Navigator object here, Navigator dot. So it has various properties out there. You can see that media devices, language. It is used to actually record the user through camera. It works in the browser, but in Node.js it doesn't work. But in Node.js 21 version, they have added the support. So now you can simply execute this line, and if you just run this node index.js, it will tell you exactly how many number of logical CPU cores available, which is 8 on my system. So 8 CPU cores are available. So you can see that, guys, now this is very handy object. With this help of, you can create very powerful, extensive, you can create intensive applications. Your Node.js can detect how many CPU cores are available. They can use it as well. So this navigator, basically user agent, you can also print out because this works in the browser. I think it, yeah, so it will basically tell you the user agent, which is Node.js 21. It will tell you the version number that you are using, which is 21. So if I basically change this to a lower version, NVM use 20.9.0, you will clearly see that this feature is only added in the 21. If I try to execute this, you will see that navigator is not defined. So it is just added in this 21st version, guys. So NVM use 21.6.2, this is the version. So we have various properties out there, and service worker, language, media devices as well. So if you just type media devices, so it comes out to be undefined because it works in the browser. It can't work in the server side in Node.js. These are some of the features, guys, that Node.js released in 21 version. And one more feature, guys, if you tend to use a package which uses import statement, which is a ES module. Let's suppose there is a package called as node fetch, sorry, Axios, which uses the import statement. So this is actual package which makes HTTP requests similar to fetch API. So if you want to use Axios package, this package has been added. Earlier on, what we need to do, we added this type property in either it can be common.js or module if you wanted to add the import statement, but this removes this restriction. If you just type Axios here, basically it uses import statement. It's a ES module, which is a, this is actually the, it uses import statement for the functionality. So if you want to use this import statement, you no longer need to add this type module. Now you can directly use them inside your code. So this is the same example. We will use it for fetching data from JSON placeholder API. So what it will do, it will basically print out the response. So if you just type node index.js, so here we just need to pass a flag, guys, because this is a experimental feature similar to WebSocket. Here we just need to write node dash dash experimental dash default dash type is equal to module and then your script name, which is index.js. So dash dash experimental default type module index.js. So you will basically see it will give you this response. So we no longer need to add this type is equal to module inside package.json, and this is a really powerful feature, and it will be coming in the future versions of Node, and it will be stable. So, and if you show you, basically if I change this version number to 20.9.0 and try to run the same program, you can see bad option, can't run it. It is just added this option in 21 version. So earlier on we just need to add this import statement. If you just add this import statement, type module, so type is equal to module, and now you can run this. So various new features added, guys, and I think it's a very good features added, and it will make Node.js development far more easier and effective as well. And please hit that like button if you like all the features, and comment also how you want to, which features you will use mostly. And thank you very much for watching this video, and I will be seeing you in the next live stream.